Good afternoon, honored guests, Mr. President of the Netherlands, and honored members of parliament and former members of parliament, and world leaders, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you all here. And for me, this is even more of a pleasure because my dad, during the 1960s, actually got a sponsorship. I think no scholarship, not sponsorship, to study at Oxford, and he was at Trinity College. So that was his
Award as a chief.
maybe we can shut the door.
The GRT World Lead Summit are amazing occasions
So my dad,
to get so many
during the
leaders.
Civil War in Biafra, he got a scholarship to study at Oxford.
The
And this is the first time I've ever been to Oxford, so it's a great honor to actually be here all those years. And now my background, I am, my dad, he sort of came over here as a political refugee in the 80s, so because he got into politics after studying medicine. And I was here in the 80s as a young girl. So it's really, really wonderful for me to actually represent immigrants here and to show you that, what can be done. So I'm going to talk about accelerating action through social impact and alignment with purpose. Okay, so as we know, this is International Women's Month. And for the Commission for Women, this year is all about accelerating action, empower every woman, equality, progress, and inclusion. And that's the theme for this year. So it seems really that only prominent women are the ones who actually get the voices heard. And it doesn't matter, the race or the country or the culture. But I'm actually here to represent those hidden women in our midst, those people who don't have a platform, they don't have a voice. And, they also need to be heard. And that's when we talk about inclusion and equality, that is what we're talking about. So this is very much dear to my heart because I run a social enterprise called CedarCube, which is all about family restoration. And one of the key values we have is empowerment. And empowerment, one of the ways we empower women is through economic empowerment. So we start small micro businesses for these women to help them to be fundamental to their community, sustainable, and to feed their families. So I just talked to you about two of these women who I came across. One of them was in the 2020. And the way I come across this woman is very, very obscure. And that's what I'm talking about, hidden women. So one of these ladies was Abeke Taiwo. And I just happened to be scrolling through Facebook as you do. And this woman just announced that she was about to take poison, right? So I just wondered, why is this lady about to take poison? And I thought, okay, I'm sure she's just not looking for attention, but just in case. I messaged her in Facebook and I talked to her and I said, why do you want to take poison? And normally with women, it's two things usually. One is relationships, the second one is finance. And this woman, those were two of her problems. So I managed to talk her through and get her to a stable state. And in terms of the finance, that was a bit of a longer term situation. But one of the things that we've been doing since that time was collecting old clothes, secondhand clothes, and sending them. She was based in Nigeria, sending them to these women in Nigeria, and they start selling these secondhand clothes, so they're able to feed their families. And giving selling secondhand clothes is probably not most people's passions, but we also coach them through what is their passion, what do they really want to do. So that lady really did very well. She started a meat secondhand dried meat business, packaged meat, and then she also started the business for her mother. So this is the type of impact that we're talking about. Second lady, that was last year. It was very similar as well. In a group, again, she wanted to commit suicide. She said she had already bought a rope to, hang herself. Had three children. Her husband has lost his work, and she was the only one earning. She was a teacher, but the situation in Nigeria sometimes, as a number of you who come from, third world countries, sometimes people work and they don't get paid. So he hadn't been paid for 3 months. Her husband hadn't been working. And they had been eating, it's very similar to flour. You know, in India, they'd been eating flour. And she was like, you know what, there's no point. She was about to take her life. Again, same scenario, talked her through everything. She managed to, we did a fundraiser for her, and she managed to start a drinks business, right? You know, retailing drinks, soft drinks. And she's doing very well now. So, you know, that was good in terms of having taken that action to fundraise and send this money to these women. But I find that at this moment in time, it's like we often get apathy in terms of our humanitarian, our hearts. It's like, you know, we get tired of seeing all these fundraisers going on and trying to send money here and there. And we get a bit weary. So my call to everyone is, you know, don't get weary. You know, don't get weary of doing good things because you can help people. But one other way I can say that we can not get weary of doing good is by aligning our action to our purpose. Okay? We all have a purpose. We're not all here by accidents. I'm not here by accidents. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm here with, you know, world leaders here. And the reason why we're all here is because we all have a message to pass on. We all have a gift to give to the world. We all have a purpose. So what is your purpose? I want you to think about that. And in my book, which I launched last year, it's called The Awakening of Purpose Through Passion and Pain. We go through all these things. The first part of it is about our talents, the things that we're born with. And then also the skills that you develop as you go along in life. Then the other side of it is the pains, the burdens, and the sufferings that we go through in life, because those things also point to our purpose, right? They're not for, you know, they're not for nothing. And it's for us to be able to transmute that suffering and transform them into something meaningful, into something that we can also share with the world. Because when we suffer as well, we gain skills, we gain experience, and we gain things that we can pass on to other people to learn. And that's what life is all about, to help others and to learn. So with this, once you're aligned with your purpose, through consistent action, you can actually, you can actually make an impact in the world. And this is how you are able to leave a lasting legacy. And you're not able to get weary of doing good because the things that you're doing are in alignment with your purpose, with your values. And that's how you leave a lasting legacy. So thank you all for listening to me. And congratulations to all the awardees today.